Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, y'all, I'm back with another flashback. This video features Sibel, aka Mama Earth, interviewing Mama Azine of the Zulu tribe. Y'all, I'm still working diligently to get all of my content re-uploaded back onto YouTube, adding my commentary so that I can meet the YouTube guidelines. This is why you guys are seeing so many flashback videos from my channel, but I assure you I am keeping up to date and abreast of everything going on with carbonation currently. Guys, please be sure to drop me a comment, smash that like button, and share. All right, let's get into this video.
Hi, everybody. I appreciate that, Nina. How you doing, Nina? Hey, Lay Baby. Hey, Serenes. You can go ahead and call in. There you go. Hold on. Hold on. Hello, beautiful. Peace. Okay. Peace. Peace, peace, peace. How you feeling?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
Okay, for those of you who do not know, the young lady that just joined Sibel, aka Mama Earth, is Mama Azine. Mama Azine is a part of the Zulu tribe. She is with Shaka Zulu. They actually ended up joining Carbonation at one point, and she will be talking about her experiences there.
Good. You look well. You look beautiful, per usual.
You got some nice style.
Huh?
You have some nice style.
Oh, I appreciate it. I love your earrings. That's hot. That's dope. All right, Azine. So, you and I were talking. Hold on, I'm just trying to see what's happening here. The other day, and I couldn't get you off of my heart. I told you how I couldn't fathom the things that you were saying to me and what was going on. So, you wanted to come on and just really express your truth and express yourself in your own words, and to really talk about some of the things that you experienced. First of all, just let the people know who you are and how long you were in the cult, Carbonation, and let's go from there.
All right, so I'm Azine Peace. I'm from the Zulu tribe, and I was in Carbonation for about just under 2 months, like a month and a half.
Okay, almost a month and a half. Okay, and let's talk about what happened to you. Explain to us what happened to you while you were there.
Well, I witnessed a lot of violence, I can tell you that for sure. We all know what happened July 4th. We all know that he also hit Malia. I was there for that. I was there for the fight with all the guys that they had when Zoka got hit.
Hold on, let's back up just a little bit. You said that Malia got hit?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so let's just go there. First off, tell us about what was the scenario, what happened, why did she get hit, and like what kind of hitting, like what happened there?
So it was a night. We had all taken shots, about 6 shots that night.
Mm-hmm.
The women, the guys had taken about 6 shots that night, so everybody was laid off Patron, and things got rowdy, and the women were in the room upstairs together, and Eliana was like, "Hey, I want to fight you, Malia," but however, she was very aggressive about it. She was very hostile about it, and Malia was like taken off guard, and she was like, "I don't want to fight. I'd rather just talk." Mm-hmm. And Eliana was like, "Nah, like we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight right now," and she was just adamant about it. Malia was resistant to it, and Malia had run off to go to the restroom. She's like, I'm going to go to the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so she goes to the restroom. However, the restroom is right in front of the set of stairs we had at this house, directly in front. So once she went in and she came right back out about a second later and ran down the stairs. As she's trying to run up the door, she's like, I'm going to call the police. And Zoka runs after her, drags her back up the stairs, and throws her through the gate that we had up for the babies. And that's when Nature Boy stepped in, because Nature Boy wasn't fully involved at that point. He was allowing the women to take over it. But once she said, I'm calling the police, that's when he really got upset. Like, damn, you gonna call the cops on me knowing what happens when you do that? So he took her to the room, and that's when he started beating on her. All the women were in the room right next door, just standing there, waiting for them to return.
Malia, aka Tanisha Dulé, I hope you watch my videos and I hope you listen to my commentary. You allowed this man to beat on you, beat you down, and you sitting up there talking about y'all still riding. You need to ride your ass home.
Waiting for them to return. And at one point they did come out the room. However, Malia was resistant to come out the room. He was trying to get her to come back and apologize. However, she didn't want to, so he took her back to the room and continued to hit on her and yell at her, whatever. And he tried to bring her out a second time, and the second time she came out, she started motioning as if she was like, cut my wrist. But I couldn't hear her speak. And you can hear Nature Boy say, we might as well go get a knife. However, he just
hold on. I'm trying to. I need to process this because I don't understand what you're saying to me. So basically, who did he want her to apologize to?
Apologize to Eliana, because Eliana was saying that Malia disrespected her.
Okay, so then apologized. Okay, and then he beat her in the room and dragged her back out to apologize.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she was motioning on her wrist.
Yeah, she was in the hallway because she didn't want to come back into the room. Like, every time he pushed her towards the room, she was running back the other way. And so she was, like, falling on her knees, going like this. We all know what that means.
So she was on her knees trying to act like she was cutting her wrist.
Right, and he was just like, all right, let's go get a knife right now. However, they didn't go get one. He just took her back to the room and continued to hit on her.
Okay, so he hit her for 3 rounds is what you're explaining to me.
Yeah, before she finally came out the room.
Wow. Okay. So, like, how did this make you feel? Okay, so before we even go there, you said there was a lot of fighting. You said that was what was going on upstairs. You said that there was more fighting with the men.
Yeah, the men were downstairs having the WWE going on. I don't know, everybody was fighting. The women upstairs weren't so much fighting. We were having spiritual battles that night. So the women were, for a minute there, we were actually at peace with each other. However, at one point it did change, but we were doing spiritual baths. So our men were on that. Not necessarily the guys was downstairs having problems with each other and wanted to fight. And actually, what started the women is fighting is Nature Boy was like, all right, it's time for the women. Who wants to fight? Nature Boy up there trying to amp everybody up. Who wants to fight? You want to fight? Calling people out. You want to fight? You want to fight? And Eliana like, I want to fight Malia.
So he was asking and promoting who wants to fight.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes a very big difference because, that's obviously statutory influence when somebody's like encouraging you and egging you on to fight, which he tries to pretend he has nothing to do with. So you're saying he went around asking everybody who wanted to fight, and that's when everybody spoke up about who they wanted to fight.
Well, nobody spoke up. Everybody was quiet. It was all about Eliana and Malia.
Okay.
Because, we had just came back from downstairs from seeing how the guys had fought. We went upstairs, and that's when Eliana was like, I want to fight you, Malia. And Nature Boy was like, okay, who else want to fight? It's time for the women to fight. And that's when he was like, okay, but mostly it was just Eliana. She wanted to fight Malia. Malia didn't want to fight. And how I felt in that moment is the question you had asked earlier. And the way I felt is, one, I commended Malia in my mind because I'm like, I'm grateful for her applying the knowledge, communication, right? She wanted to communicate about it. However, Eliana allowed her emotions to overpower her, and all she wanted to do was get physical. So I appreciated Malia for standing up for herself and saying, "I'd rather talk to you about it." I mean, hey, I don't believe that we should be fighting each other. Like, that's not how we should be handling business, especially if this is a sisterhood and we supposed to build each other up. So I was kind of annoyed with Eliana. I was grateful for Malia. However, when she ran out the room, I was just like, damn.
Wow.
She's trying to escape right now.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. So you're explaining to me that he asked everybody who wanted to fight, and obviously Velvet wanted to fight Tanisha. And so Tanisha went to the bathroom trying to get away. And when she came out, she said she was going to call the cops. And then...
Yeah, but she didn't just walk out the bathroom. Her ass ran, okay?
She ran out the bathroom.
She ran down the stairs. She came out quick. Zoka was quick, too. Zoka pregnant herself, got up super fast. Her ass was the first one out the door.
So Zoka pushed, you said, Tanisha back up the stairs.
Yeah.
So Zoka pushed Tanisha back up the stairs, and then that's when Eligio got a hand of her, and he started to drag her and beat her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell y'all, once those women, those 4 wives that remain, once Eferu, a.k.a. Kayla Buckner, and Aya, a.k.a. Portia Wade, and Zoka, a.k.a. Jayon Marie Hamilton, and Malia, a.k.a. Tanisha Dulé wake up. Once they wake up, oh my goodness, the stories they will have to tell when they speak their truth.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, because here it is now. First, he's beating obviously on Velvet. We knew about this, but now you're saying Malia is also being severely beaten on, and that it was several times that he went in the room and beat on her.
Yes. While I was there for about a month and a half, he hit on Malia that one time that I witnessed.
Right. But that one time was 3 rounds in the night because she wouldn't apologize to Velvet for whatever she felt she was being disrespectful about.
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's what I want to ask you. You said that there were other people fighting. What was you said there was the men. You didn't finish talking about that. So who exactly was fighting as far as the men is concerned?
Caliber, Solar, Kite, Drew, Loyal, as far as the guys.
Okay, and then was True, I understand you had said to me that True had an altercation with his wife. What happened there? Was there violence there as well?
I wasn't a witness for that. Star told me about that, so
right.
I have the details. I just know about it through Star.
Right, so she said that True hit on Sheba.
Mm-hmm. However, I didn't ask for details, so I don't have them.
Right. So you're saying that he basically is promoting violence. Like everybody was trying to fight everybody. The men were fighting. The women were fighting. Well, trying to get it amped up to fight. And then because Malia tried to call the police and run, he beat her and punished her for that.
So I'll say this. He definitely promotes violence when it comes to a man and his woman. Because he, the night on July 4th, you remember what he said. You got to beat the white man out of her. So we know that he promotes handling a woman aggressively. Absolutely. As for the guys, they really started fighting because someone hit Nature Boy in the lip by accident. And that's why he was like, fuck it. Let's just fight now. So I'm like, he's drunk. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he was drunk. So do you find that when he was drunk, that was usually his behavior when he was violent?
Yes. When he has alcohol, yes, we see it every time he gets on live and he starts crying and yelling at everybody.
Right, but they don't see the back end of that we knew. Every time he gets drunk, he gets violent after. So they think they're being entertained. They think it's just him, being whatever. But we know that in the end, what happens?
Listen, in the end, he either wants to get some punani, and if you don't get that, it's going to be his hand. So that's what it is there.
Right. Okay.
He just wants women. Mm-hmm.
So tell me about how it was being in a relationship with your husband there. Like, what was that night like when you were called into a meeting? What happened that you were called into a meeting by him?
Well, the whole time I was there, they really were focused on the dynamics of Shaka and I's relationship. So eventually it got to a point where Nature Boy wanted us to separate and to no longer be together and be separate. However, we were both in resistance to it, and so because we didn't do what he told us to do, he got mad at us and we got yelled at, whatever. But so my husband was like, "Fuck this," I'm tired of him yelling at me all the time. So he decided to put himself in isolation. However, so the night of when Malia got hit and all the guys were downstairs fighting, he had pulled his penis out on me while I was having my spiritual bath. So I told my husband about it, and we were trying to figure out how we wanted to handle it. And so we decided to, let's see how the next day plays out. The next day I had a meeting with Nature Boy. That's when we had our meeting. And that's when he was telling me that, he's attracted to me. He likes me, but he doesn't want to lose his daughter. So he didn't want me to say anything.
Y'all, every woman that went to Carbonation had to sleep with Eligio Bishop, a.k.a. Nature Boy, a.k.a. Three God, or they had to leave. Period.
So he didn't want me to say anything. He just wanted me to keep it secret so he can continue to do whatever, but still have his daughter around. So I was like, I told him that I felt disrespected and I felt like he's inappropriate. And while we were having this conversation, my husband walked in the room. So as soon as he walks in the room, he changes up the conversation like, nah, we just talking about y'all's relationship. That's all. Mm. So as soon as we leave the meeting, I'm like, that's not how that happened at all. Mm. And so I made us have another meeting, and I was like, you're going to address what happened because I'm not about to keep a secret like this from my husband. So he thinks I'm keeping a secret. Mm-hmm. And but however, he never confessed to it. So I was like, you pulled your penis out on me, and then that's when my husband, still playing his part, acting like he didn't already know. Mm-hmm. Like, how could you do that? You're disrespectful. You're supposed to be the Messiah. You're supposed to uphold these morals and values. However, you're being a snake behind my back. And that's when Nature Boy was like, I'm not the Messiah. I'm just a regular man. And it's like, whoa. But we have to bow down to you every day. Like,
do y'all think Eligio Bishop, a.k.a. Nature Boy, a.k.a. Three God, only said that to Shaka because he was scared of what Shaka might do? For those of you who do not know, Shaka is real tight with fighting and boxing. He used to box a lot back in the day. So I think Nature Boy was kind of scared.
Bow down to you every day, like, but you're just a normal man,
Right.
That's when it was like that same day we left.
So tell me about, we're going to get back to how you left, but while you were in the room having a meeting with Eligio, you said that something was happening in the closet as well. You heard other things going on. What was happening in the closet?
Oh, Zoka and Stolar were in the closet.
What was happening there?
All you see is, you hear a thud, and then you hear Zoka crying, and you hear her saying, don't do that, and then you can hear Solar saying, you left me for Nature Boy before, you'll do it again, and, you just hear noises, like, you could just tell it's violent in there. You could just tell it's violent, and then, mind you, the bathroom is right the closet they were in was right next to a bathroom where Star was having her spiritual bath, and she's in there hearing thuds as well, so it's just...
It was all over the place, all kinds of violence. Solar's beating on his pregnant wife. True's beating on Sheba. Eligio's beating on Malia because she's trying to run away and call the cops to escape. So when you say that you and your husband decided that night to leave, did he talk to Eligio about wanting to leave?
Oh, yeah, he told him. He was like, I want to leave. I don't want to be here anymore. And Elijah was really trying to convince him to stay. He was like, your woman's the devil. She's going to lead you astray. She's bad for you, yada, yada, yada. You know.
Wait, what? He's convincing your husband that you're bad for him?
He was like, he said, leave her. I'll get you 10 more women. You know, trying to convince him that don't be with me. Stick with him.
Right.
And Shaka was like, at one point, Shaka was like, I'm tired of talking to you, so whatever, I'll stay, right? However, as soon as he finished the meeting, we packed up our shit and we literally left. Like, we left 2 days after the whole fight with, like, all that tequila shots and shit. We left 2 days after that because it was just too much.
So tell me how you left. What did you have to orchestrate? Like, did you just boldly get up and walk out? Like, you knew that Eligio was trying to convince your husband not to go, even though he told him he wanted to leave. So what did you guys have to do in order to actually leave?
Okay, so because he kept saying he didn't want us to cause a scene, because he didn't want Eliana to know what happened.
All right, y'all. If you haven't picked up your copy of Greatness is a Habit, authored by Aaron Dixon, otherwise known as True, many of you know him as True. He is an ex-Carbonation member, and he's authored this amazing read. If you are interested in self-development and growth, this book is a good one for you. It's available on Apple Books for $1, guys. I got my copy and I love this book.
And Lucia's daughter. So we were like, okay, we don't have to let everybody know we're leaving because you already told him you wanted to leave and he didn't want you to. He tried to convince you to stay. So we plotted on just walking out the door with our stuff without being too suspicious. So we had 2 big backpacks and I condensed everything into one bag. And I brought it downstairs, and we snuck out the garage. And they didn't know we were gone until like an hour later. They started calling us.
And how did you guys, like, what did you do to get out? Like, you snuck out the garage. Well, how did you, like, who took you? How did you, what was your way to get out?
Okay, so the night before I had planned everything out because I knew the next day we were leaving. So the night before I booked us a hotel room. We had all the money in our account, so I moved it because I didn't want them to know that we had it. We moved it, and I was going to Uber us. However, when it came down for me to find us an Uber, we're sitting there waiting, and no Ubers are picking us up because of COVID. There was no Ubers. We were in Vegas at the time. And so we were sitting there, and I was waiting, and the house owner came downstairs, and we actually told her everything that happened and why we wanted to leave. And she was like, fuck it, I'll take y'all. So she took us to our hotel.
So the homeowner in Vegas is the one who took you guys and gave you guys a ride because you guys told her what happened.
Right.
Wow. So you guys had to escape. So Shaka had to pretend he was in isolation. So then you brought him a condensed bag downstairs thinking that they didn't think of anything because you're bringing a bag. So you're bringing a bag down there. Let me just make sure I put on Do Not Disturb. So you're bringing a bag down there so nobody can come in. Hold Disturb is so weird. So you're bringing a bag downstairs so nobody can be suspicious. And since he's in isolation, they think you're just setting him up. I just look like I got some. They think you're setting him up to just, be downstairs by himself in isolation, not knowing that you had packed up all of your stuff and your escape plan was to bring him the bag so you guys could leave without being suspicious.
Right.
So nobody had a clue that you guys were planning your escape.
Nope.
Right. Now, you did mention the money. I don't need to go into too much details, but basically, so they were controlling your money because you said you moved your money so that they didn't know. So did they have your bank card?
Yeah, so when we got there, they asked us, if we had anything, and we told them, yeah, we had this, and so they wanted access to the cards, right? So we just gave them over our cards that we had, and then they also wanted access to one of my bank accounts I had, so I had to give them the information for that.
When you say give the information, what do you mean? Like, what did you have to give?
Like if you go there and you have food stamps, you gotta give your food stamps. If you got cash, any cash, even if it's like, well, they don't want your bank account to go, overdrawn or anything, so they want you to keep something a little bit. But if you have hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, they want you to hand over all of it because everything goes to everybody.
So,
So
did you have a card? Did you have to give your debit card or your credit card?
I had to give my debit card away, and I did have food stamps. I gave him my food stamps card.
Okay, so you had to give them your
And
food
I did
stamps.
give him cash. I forgot how much I gave them.
So basically, once you got there, you had to surrender over all of your belongings, all your money, and they were in control of your bank card. Did you have to give them your bank information, your username, your password, your social security? Did you have to give them that information?
Yep, I had to give him my debit, my Chase account. I had a Chase account, so I had to give him my username and password.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you also had to give your social security.
I had to give my social security, when we applied for that loan they had us apply for.
Okay. So definitely this was something that they had you do. Now, I want to just talk a little bit about, I don't want to go into detail, obviously, but you escaped, when you got your money, you were able to, move your funds so that you guys could take care of you and your family, your baby.
I'm sorry, but I'm built a little different, and Eliana, aka Velvet, would have had to know what happened with her man, Eligio Bishop, aka Nature Boy, aka Three God. I would have told it, I would have screamed it as I was walking out the damn front door.
Your funds so that you guys could take care of you and your family, your baby. Speaking of baby, Shaka, how's he doing?
He's well. He's getting so big.
Oh my goodness.
18 months already.
Yo, that baby literally was an angel. Like, he knew who this man was, and he was trying to warn us, but I was so under the spell, and I was so taken. And anything that tried to go against him, we were ready to kill and fight and die for this man, right? So we were all like in attack mode once your husband came in talking about he wanted to take, Eligio's place. So we were all already like, oh, hell nah, they don't belong here. We're going to fuck them up, blah, 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 blah. But because you guys had gotten the Airbnb, he had made us all chill. He was like, no, chill out, play cool. They paid for the Airbnb. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We got to play politics. Let's just do what we got to do. Now, I mentioned the spell. Do you believe that people are under a spell there? Tell the honest truth.
Absolutely. Mental manipulation. That's all.
Right.
I believe that everyone there, most of the women having had communication with the women, hearing their stories and what drove them to even going there, you can hear it. They're just looking for a savior instead of looking for themselves. You know what I mean? So they were looking for someone else to help them. So when they found this person, they attached to that. So now they're attached to him, and they're sucking him dry, but they're attached to him now, and they feel like he's the only way they could be saved, even though they have the power to do it themselves.
Right. So when you say that they're sucking him dry, do you feel that he commands them and tells them what to do and is like constantly belittling them and talking down on them? Like, do you feel that it's a place that he's actually encouraging them to be their best selves? Or like, what kind of spell is it under?
So, well, one, it's mental manipulation, because I feel like the only thing he's mastered is how to control the minds of the people around him, right? Mm-hmm. Because he uses astrology to do this. Mm-hmm. He reads who you are, and he takes all those things that hurt you and break you, and he uses them against you, as he calls it, making you face yourself, mm-hmm. right? But no, he's really allowing them to just even attach more to him and be so stuck on him and believe that everything he says is the truth. Like, oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. But no. Right. So I believe that everyone there is just not, they don't have their own minds anymore.
He only got 5 people left, them 4 women and Jax, because I haven't seen Juju on live proclaiming the kingdom in a minute. He MIA.
They don't have their own minds anymore.
Right. And so even when you spoke about Velvet wanting to fight Tanisha, do you think she was under the spell as well? I mean, because we can't just say she wanted to fight her as if it was not his energy. She's the one sleeping with him. She was the one with him day in and day out. So you don't think his energy was affecting her?
It affected every single person in the house.
Exactly. So when she's trying to fight and she's trying to use this aggression, it's because of what she's replicating from him.
Right.
Right. So overall, I mean, what would you say? Like, would you ever go back?
No. I didn't want to be in the first place. And you were absolutely correct. Every single day you told me that. I did not want to be there at all.
I was like, you upset, motherfucker? We don't want to see your
I
remember how much of a hard time I gave you?
You did give me a hard time. You was like, why are you here? I'm like, to be honest, my husband's here. But, I can't tell y'all that because then I'm going to get in even more trouble. So, but yeah, I never really truly wanted to be there. I was there because, like, Nature Boy invited my husband to be there. And we're like, fuck it, let's see what this roller coaster has for us. Because we're not above just experiencing things.
Right. And then you ended up walking into a nightmare.
Right, because we were actually in Carbonation before when they were in Palenque, Mexico, and it wasn't that bad. It's gotten worse, actually. It's gotten worse. So, it wasn't this bad.
Right.
It wasn't this bad when they was in Mexico at all, so.
So you said you had spoken to somebody. I don't know these people, but you had mentioned somebody that you had spoke to, Flo, by like somebody who was there a while. Yeah, and that they had said something about how bad it has gotten. Like, do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Like, what happened there?
I mean, I still talk to Vibes every now and then, and I told her about my experience there, and she was like, oh, wow, things gotten worse. She said that, they never actually witnessed anyone getting beat, so she was like, dang, now it's coming out in the open, so.
Right. Did they ever witness any bruising or any hurt or anything happening with Velvet when they were there?
Yeah, I believe they witnessed bruisings and markings that looked like she might have been beat or hurt. Somehow, yes.
And so what did they think is the reason that it's gotten so much worse? What was one of their call outs or anything that the reason they think it got so bad?
I don't really think she had an opinion on that.
Okay.
Or I had an opinion on that, and it's probably because they drink more.
Oh, you saying so? Okay. So you feel like the drinking is the whole thing. When he drinks, that's how the violence happens, and that's how all this gets escalated.
Yes, because I feel like when Nature Boy's sober, he's not that bad of a person.
Mm-hmm.
However, when he gets drunk, then you see a different side.
Right. Right. So, two other things I just want to ask you. When it comes to Baby Shaka, and I know I've apologized to you before, but it's on my heart, and he just, every time he saw Legio, he would scream and run for his, like, he would like, ah! Remember how he would be? Like, he would freak the fuck out, and he would scream, remember? So we'd be like, oh, what's wrong with that boy? And then Eligio behind was like, oh, that's a demon. He a damn demon. That baby said, so we was all like, yeah, that's a demon. That little boy is a demon. But meanwhile, Baby Shaka knew and could see things that we couldn't see. He actually could see who he was because he's a child. Innocence of a child can pick up on that energy, right? So, because I was under the spell, I was just ready to fight, and it didn't matter, baby, man, woman, anybody could get it, right? Because I was trying to defend this fool,
right,
while I was dumb, deaf, and blind. You understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
So I just want to say that again. That's just, I know you tell me I don't have to, and I've done it already, but it's just on my heart while I have you here, just to let you know that now looking back, it's so like, wow, you can see how lost, you were. I could see how brainwashed I was, how under the spell I was, how not true to myself. Like, children love me. I love being around babies. Like, that's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Don't read the comments, Dean. Don't read the comments.
I'm not even reading those comments because they're going to distract me and I'm going to get lost. But I was going to say that you just wanted him to be something so bad. That's all they all are. That's all.
With all this proof, first-hand accounts of all of the abuse and the mental manipulation going on at Carbonation, Efru coming on in her stories talking about she wouldn't be there, she's not a stupid bitch. I beg to differ, ma'am.
To be something so bad, that's all they all are. That's all they all want.
Yeah.
For him to be the person that they want him to be, so that's what they're putting their energy into, is like tunnel vision. Like, no, he's the Messiah, period, point blank. Right. I'm not accepting anything less.
Right.
That's all it is. And that's what she was having, and I respect it. I don't want loyalty like that around me.
Right.
We all want loyalty like that around us.
Right, but you don't want nobody calling you the Messiah. God, you're not going to pretend to be bigger than everybody around you.
No, know, just the loyalty aspect. Fuck the whole hierarchy of it all. But we all just want people around us who are going to put that passion into the same mission. That's
right.
all.
To love each other, to be loyal, to be faithful to each other. So speaking of that, let me ask you that. Speaking of being loyal and what you've taken away, like how have you, what was your healing process? What did you do when you got out of there to get out of the spell? What happened to you?
Well, I'm grateful to have barely ever been under a spell, because the whole time I was there, I literally thought everybody just regurgitated everything he said. So I'm just like, I'm trying to be like, yo, like, should I just regurgitate this shit? Because that's all we do. But when I left, it was just, I felt weight lift off my shoulders. I felt lighter and freer, and I felt more comfortable. And it was easy for me to get over. I didn't have, I had nightmares for a couple days.
You had nightmares?
I did. I had a couple nightmares for a couple nights, The violence there, it can stay in your head sometimes. So after that, I was cool. I was back onto what I was already on,
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So because you weren't invested, that happened. But I do remember, do you remember that time when you said you had a nightmare while you were like, it was like your second or third day there. You said, I had a really bad nightmare. Do you care to share that nightmare that you had? That third, like it was like I think it was like your second or third day. And I was like, damn, she already, remember I was giving you a hard time. But can you tell us that dream then that happened?
I don't want to talk about that dream.
Okay, I know. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, that dream was not, I really don't. That dream was, I still can see that dream vividly in my head now that you remind me, because I haven't thought about that in a while, so.
But let me, okay, even if you don't tell us it specifically, because I'm remembering everything now too, that thing was so vivid. But basically, would you say it was a warning dream? Would you say it was something that's telling you to get the fuck out? Would you say it was a dream that let you know, like, this is not for you? Like, even if you don't want to give the details, but can you tell us a little bit about what that dream meant to you after you had it?
The dream told me that my son was in danger. That's what the dream was telling me, that my son was in danger and I needed to remove myself. And I had that dream in California, so it even took me a while to realize what that dream was even telling me, because my baby was crying every day. Then I had this nightmare about him. And then, everybody's treating my son as if he has, some disease. So it was just like, and then he got a fever one night. It was like a couple nights before I left, he got a fever. And I'm like, At that point, I was like, I gotta go.
Right.
Right. I had to go.
Oh, Mama Azine, she a good one, because I wouldn't have been around no people calling my child no demon. No, ma'am.
I had to go.
Right. So, wow. I think that's a whole lot. That it's very disheartening that Tanisha is being beaten, and obviously, now she's going to be taking that position and, just going to be who he beats on, because that's what he does, right? We know this from every single past relationship, from, the ex-wife, Maisha, the wife before, and then, Velvet, and then now, so everybody who passes through there seems to get this signature thing from him, constantly him beating, on his women. And it just has to stop. It just has to stop. Like, it just can't be something that just keeps happening. And everybody is saying, oh yeah, he beats on his wife. He beats on his woman. You were there 4th of July. You saw what happened to this woman. You saw what happened to Velvet. When he body slammed her, it was like, oh my God, is she dead? Is she there? Is she dead? Is she alive? Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember how I felt. I remember hearing the noises. Like, the noises is what stayed with me more than the visuals. So.
Yo, the punching, when he was punching her in the face, like left, right, just jabbing her, like boom. When he had his knees on her shoulder. Like, this is a big-ass nigga. Velvet is 115 pounds. This nigga was put his knees on her shoulder, and you could hear it. It sounded like a jaw breaking. Like, it sounded like crack, crack, crack. And it was basically in her head. He was banging on her actual skull, banging on her head. I can't make this shit up.
Right.
Dude, what the fuck? Like, I'm not going to say to myself, I'm going to get used to something like that happening. That was absolutely the worst thing I've ever seen, ever, ever, ever. And then the whole time he was doing it, what was he saying?
You gotta do it. You gotta beat her. You gotta beat the white man out of her. She deserves this. She deserves it. She did it to herself.
She did it. And what he kept telling the men, this is what you got. What he kept telling to the other men with their wives.
But you gotta beat the white man out of her. All of them. All of us have to get beat.
He kept.
That's why next night, Solar being on Zoka. That's why, you know.
Pregnant woman, you. Like, I was so disappointed at that because my thing is Solar didn't want to fight Caliber. You turned down Caliber to fight, but you gonna beat down your wife who's pregnant with your child though? You couldn't restrain yourself from that?
Right.
I never even known Solar to be like that. Like he, you know, his name is Courtney. Like he's a good person. Like naturally, like he was just always kind and always giving. And like I remember one time the oatmeal was finished. He went and made more oatmeal by himself. Never knew, you know, don't even know how to cook. But just so everybody got to eat, he would do that extra thing, or he would, you know, go out of his way to be like, yo, you know, Earth, whatever. But, you know, Sybil basically talking to me, but saying, you know, do this or do that. Or what do you think about this? Or what do you think? Like always was very positive, always had such a strong mind. And you could tell he was battling himself because Eligio used to belittle him constantly because he was so strong.
I don't think anybody authentic there. So I can't even look at their actions as them being themselves. I think everybody walking on eggshells. Everybody wants to be what Elihu tells them to be. So they're just trying to be that. So I'm like, Solar, yeah, he looked like a little soft boy, but no, he was in there hitting on that girl. So no, now you know for sure that's not who he is.
Right. And I mean, but obviously he never did that before. So you think that's him, or you think he's under the spell?
Oh, what? Like I said, everybody in the house under spell. They're all listen. Like I was telling you yesterday, right? How can a man who just found out his birth chart a few months ago tell me he mastered all his demons? No, you didn't, because you only known about them for 2 seconds. So how can he tell me he mastered 14 demons? No, he still got something going on.
The point that you said that really like stuck with me was when he told Shaka that he told in the meeting, Shaka, you and Shaka, that he's not the Messiah. He's just a regular guy.
Right.
So like, oh yeah, and then what was he kept telling Shaka about Velvet? He said he had a plan. What was his plan for Velvet? Talk about that.
Oh, he wanted to phase Velvet out. He wanted to phase her out and just to be with the woman. He didn't really want to be with her anymore. But he wanted his daughter to be there, right? So he couldn't just break up with her because she would leave. So he said he was kind of trying to phase her out and to be more with the woman and less with him.
Wow, yo. That's a grind. Like, that nigga is yo, the grime, just the shadiness. Like, and then you go and marry old girl, and then you go and put her under the... And you know that was all business, just to control and have the daughter. That had nothing to do...
Everyone Caliber married, all that. It's just crazy how they let him do that to them.
Dang, I almost forgot that they all got married in Vegas. It was Eligio Bishop, a.k.a. Nature Boy, a.k.a. Three God, and Velvet. Aaron and Kendra. Ishmael, a.k.a. Caliber. And Kayla, a.k.a. Ephraim Buckner. And Solar, a.k.a. Courtney, a.k.a. Nature Boy Jr. And Zoka, a.k.a. Jayon Marie Hamilton. And Mente and Sarian, a.k.a. Jacob and Brianna. And who else got married, y'all? Did Tron and Aya get married? I can't remember. I know they coupled up and they all got married in Vegas. That was crazy. That was wild.
Crazy how they let him do that to them.
And then married, and then now, where are they?
That's exactly. They're not even with the person they on the...
Yo, they're fucking him. These are legal-ass husband and wives.
Right.
Like, they're whole-ass married couples. Like, Sheba and True, Caliber and her, Brianna and Mente. I mean, like, really? And they're now with you?
They just did it to protect themselves, I guess.
Right. To remember what he said. What was he saying? He wanted the image to be when the feds and everybody started investigating him because he was so nervous about.
Yes, monogamy.
Yeah. Because the Hawaii, remember the girl who stabbed her mom? He was so scared about that. He was so scared about going down because she was in Carbon Nation, and he knows he promotes hate your family, disconnect from Babylon. You can't connect with. Now, let's talk about that. This nigga be trying to say he is not a cult. He doesn't let you do this. He lets everybody do what they want. You guys literally had to escape. You guys literally had to escape, and you guys had to make a way to convince him so that he don't know what's going on. And an hour after you leave, he's like, "Oh, I know you guys left. Come back. Woo, 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 woo." But he tries to make people think like, "Oh, everybody's, doing their free will. Nobody's under a spell. This and this and that." Meanwhile, Malia's trying to call the police so that she doesn't get into a fight, and you beat her and drag her, and you beat her.
Yep.
Like, who are you fooling, my dude? Who are you fooling?
He ain't fooling nobody now, Earth, a.k.a. Sibel. He in jail, awaiting trial, my dear. He is not fooling anybody. Eligio Bishop, a.k.a. Nature Boy, a.k.a. Three God, ain't fooling nobody these days. Nah, not these days.
Fooling, my dude. Who are you fooling?
Everybody in Carbon Nation right now.
Everybody in Carbon Nation right now, deaf, dumb, and blind. Like I was, deaf, dumb, and blind.
That's just... They need to be under new management. That's all I gotta say.
So let me ask you this. One last thing. I know I said no, but you had said something that I found to be interesting, because we just mentioned husband and wife. So you and your husband, he told you guys that you needed to be separated and you couldn't be together.
Right. Yeah.
And what was his reason for that?
Because he felt like we weren't meant for each other.
What the fuck? You with your whole husband, and he's telling you two are not supposed to be together.
Yeah, and it makes sense because everyone that goes there to be with him, right? Mm-hmm. All the women go there to be with him. So I'm the one that did not go there to be with him. So it's like, let me separate them, and then let me test her and see if she on my team or not. Because his whole mind is, if you're not here for me, then you're not gonna be here at all, right? So
he said that to you, right? He said that to you. You're not here for me. He said that to you, right? You don't want me.
Yeah, he always said like that. He always said that. Then I'm not there for him. And he was absolutely correct. I was not there for him.
So let me get this right. He's tried to separate you two, and you guys told you guys not to sleep together. When you guys got caught, he found out that you guys slept together, even though he told you to separate. And then you two got in trouble for that the next morning.
Right. Yes, we did.
So you got in trouble for being with your whole husband.
Yeah, I did.
Because he was trying to separate you from your husband so that he could get to you, and he dick flashing you, trying to get you excited about him, trying to get to you.
Right.
Yo, and then didn't you say something about he offered Velvet to Shaka?
Oh, man, yeah. So
I'm telling y'all, Eligio Bishop, a.k.a. Nature Boy, a.k.a. Three God, he's got serious mental issues. I believe that they have all been living with a madman. I believe it.
Oh, man, yeah. So,
yo!
He did. He was like, so it was the day we left. We had called that meeting, and I was talking to him about what he did, and he said that he asked me to leave the room, right, so they could talk man to man. And that's when he was trying to tell him, your woman's the devil, you need to leave her, I'll give you 10 more women if you leave her, and all these things. And he's like, how about this? How about I'll let you fuck Eliana, just so we're even. Or he said, the next time Eliana throws herself at you, I'm gonna let you have her.
Wow.
Because everyone was starting to feel like Eliana was feeling Shaka. Because she was always talking about him in meetings, like Shaka this, Shaka that, so it was kind of suspect. So that's why he was like, the next time she says something about you, you can have her.
Wow. So he was willing to give his wife so that he could have you, because he has to fuck everyone. But you just said something you just brought up something else.
It's less of him wanting me, and it's more of him trying to control us and trying to see what it is to bait us in. Right, bait Chuck in. Maybe if I give him my wife, I can have his whole soul, which is what he wants, your soul, right? That's what that was. It's less of him actually wanting to give up Eliana and more of him testing my husband to see, can I take his soul right now? I I tried to take his wife, so clearly that didn't work. Let me test him today. You know?
Ooh. You better talk that heavy shit, girl. Because people think it's a joke. They think it's just, oh, you're going to be going over there. It's going to be whoop, whoop, whoop. You're going to be spiritual. There's actually no uplifting, no spirituality, nothing. All you're doing is beating down every day. And then you're regurgitating a knowledge that you're just supposed to go and proclaim. But on the inside, there's nothing happening that's active with that. But you did say that Shaka, Eliana kept talking about Shaka all the time. But the reason Malia... you told me everybody had an attitude with her that day because she had said something. What did Malia say earlier that day that everybody was giving her shade?
She had said that, basically she said she had read an aspect about Shaka. She had read an aspect about Shaka, and that triggered Nature Boy to be like, wait, what? Why did you read that aspect? Why are you studying Shaka? You know,
oh, no, not that day. Not that. Yeah, that's
not that day.
No, I'm talking about the day that, Velvet and Malia were going to fight, but he dragged her. Malia didn't want to fight. She ran. You said that whole day everybody was acting shady with her. What did she say earlier that day?
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. She was just talking about how the women were having a meeting, and I forget exactly what we were talking about. I think we were just talking about our family experiences, and she just was talking about her sisters, and then she was like, yeah, you know, this was my favorite sister. I can call her to this day, and she'd give me a flight right now. You know, that's what she said. So, she said that, and then her energy was got weird after that moment. So people were looking at her like, you know, questioning her movements. And that's partially why Eliana felt like Malia was disrespecting her, which led to that, so.
Right, and then she wanted to call the cops. So she was kind of planning she literally ran to the bathroom and ran out trying to escape again and said she was going to call the cops because she didn't want to fight. So this girl was literally trying to escape, and she got beaten for it. Mm-hmm. And to the point where she was trying to cut her own. You said she was on her hands and knees, and she started slitting her wrist, like as if she wanted to cut her own wrist. And he told her, let's get the knife.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Messiah, though? Like, who's Messiah is? I mean, he told you guys, I'm not the Messiah, I'm a regular guy.
Right.
But, like, my whole thing is, wow, what if that girl would have taken her life? Now, let me ask you this. Do you believe that they would hide it if they did something to her?
If they did something to her, I believe they do their best to hide it.
Yeah?
Honestly.
Because you remember how he used to say,
he gonna do his best to hide it.
We'll just say you left. We'll kill you. We'll do this and that. We'll just say you left because we in the trial.
I don't think Nature Boy dumb enough to kill nobody. I do think he's dumb enough to beat them enough that they almost dead.
I don't know. I thought Velvet was pretty finished. I mean,
I knew he had some. Oh, I know he was practicing a little bit of self-control when he was beating her bad, but he a big man.
So you trying to say?
I think he wants to break them physically. I don't think he'd kill him. I don't think he would. I don't think he's that dumb.
All right, y'all. If you haven't picked up your copy of Greatness is a Habit, authored by Aaron Dixon, otherwise known as True. Many of you know him as True. He is an ex-Carbonation member, and he's authored this amazing read. If you are interested in self-development and growth, this book is a good one for you. It's available on Apple Books for $1, guys. I got my copy, and I love this book.
But do you remember him saying that he would kill her? That he'd rather kill her than
he did say Eliana. He did. You right. You got me.
Okay, let me just sit it. What did he say he'd rather before his daughter gets taken? What did he say?
He did say I'd rather kill her than let her leave with my child. He did say that.
Did he say it once?
He said it several times.
Did he say it twice?
He said it more than twice.
Did he say it 3 times? I'm just saying, this was the shit I heard every fucking day.
Right.
I heard that shit on a and I'd be like, well, damn. When a man keeps telling you that he's gonna kill you, I suggest you believe him. Hey. Because that shit was he would just let it run out his mouth. She ain't gonna take my fucking daughter, yo. I don't care. I'd rather kill her. She ain't gonna take my fucking daughter. Like, that shit was real. And the way them niggas held that circle, the way they covered everything, they would have hit it and did exactly the same thing that they were doing in the circle. Cover the circle, tighten up the circle, tighten up the circle, don't get involved. Remember what True was saying when we were trying to break it up and what was he saying?
He said, don't intervene, let it happen.
Let it happen. Let him do it. Don't intervene. Like, we was all like going crazy because he was pummeling this girl so bad. We thought, I mean, I've never seen Velvet that way. This beautiful queen, butt naked, crawling on her knees, body slammed to the floor, choked, literally like up in the air, choking her. Like, I'm like, oh, she's gone. I'm witnessing a murder. I'm like, I'm gonna be part of a homicide. Like, this was in my mind, like, oh my God, I gotta do something. I gotta run. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta scream. Somebody gotta hear me. But them niggas acted like if you move, remember True? Get back. Everybody, if you're doing it, back up, close the circle. Like, if you made the wrong move, was you not gonna catch a case? Was you not gonna get nabbed?
Yes. They was all gonna fight you. While he was fighting her, we was all gonna get fought. He intervened.
And people just don't get it. They think it's a joke that when I'm saying you're
like,
scared for your fucking life.
Yeah, they be like, why don't you do something? Imagine you, one little person, surrounded by 25 loyal people.
Girl, get my ass. Whoop the fuck down.
Because these people will literally kill for that man. I'm telling you, these people will kill for that man.
Yeah.
So you tell me what you're trying to do. You're trying to be smart. Okay, even though you know you put yourself in a crazy situation, all the rumors, sometimes you gotta experience shit before you really understand what it is.
Yeah. And
I take somebody else.
Yeah, I was trying to convince myself otherwise. Like, with the rumors, I'd be like, oh, they're making it up. Oh, you know, because I was talking to him regularly on the phone. So he already got my mind like, woo, child. Like, I was spinning. So, you know, people like, oh, like, why would she be into him, this and this and that? And now you're seeing more people come out about cults and whatever. These, like, women and older women, mature women, wealthy women, all these women. Because it's about seeking that spirituality. You think you're going to get this enlightenment. You think you're going to get this amazing experience of somebody who's going to teach you something to awaken you in some sort of a way, right? And so when you go there, it's like, oh wait, this is not it. This is also a lie.
Right.
Wow.
That shit fucked up.
On that note, man, I think I've had enough my heart can take for the night. Yo, between Malia, between her trying to cut her wrist and trying to kill herself and him encouraging her, between him egging everybody on in the house to fight, between him trying to punish you for sleeping with your husband, between, you just said so much. I could just go on and on and on, but I'm just like dumbfounded. But I am so more than anything happy that you escaped, girl. I am happy that you and your husband plotted your escape. You pretended he pretended to be in isolation. You brought him the bag. Because, listen, you never know. Sheba might be watching this. You know,
all the women were downstairs. Yeah, they all watch you. They watch you.
See?
And you gotta be smart. Because there's a bunch of tattletales in that house. You can't do nothing without Nacy Boy knowing. So everybody is snitched.
I know, but they need to know that we're here, though, Azine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for me, I extend myself if anybody needs me. Are you willing to extend yourself if anybody needs you?
Absolutely. I don't hate people.
Right.
I hate people. Right. I'm all love, and I'm all about. Listen, the one thing I'm grateful to learn from Carbonation is the fact that be authentic and have compassion. Period.
Yeah.
They don't practice that. However, it's very valuable.
All right, now, if y'all still watching, go on ahead and drop me a comment, smash the heck out of that like button. Y'all, I'm trying to get all of my re-uploads back into the suggested videos on YouTube, and I'm not going to be able to do that without y'all's help. So I want to say thank you in advance.
However, it's very valuable.
That's what you took from it, because there was none of that there. There was none.
That's what I'm saying. They were not the example of compassion. I'm gonna be an example of compassion. I'm gonna show you how to be.
You were very
love.
Yeah,
I'm always
very sweet.
Love. If you were to reach out to me, I'm not gonna hold your past against you, because if I was to come out and extend myself to somebody who I had negative energy with, and I put my pride aside, how would I want that person to respond to me? So I'm always gonna be loved.
Right. Right. Amen. I'm here too for them, and you know, let's just do our best. You know, obviously, let's keep each other up in spirit. You know, we're calling all their names. Jayon Marie, you know, Kaden, Kendra, Portia, Tanisha, We call on your names, and we speak life into Velvet too, to keep her strong, to keep her maintained in her strength, not to to fall into the trap, and just keep everybody really strong in their mind. Alicia, we just want to see you home. This thing needs to be dismantled. People need to get back to themselves, get back to their soul, find their souls again. And let him live his own miserable life and put himself where he's going to put himself, because it just keeps going down, and they're just going to end up going down with him.
Right. We just gotta be here with an open arm in case somebody does decide to say, "Hey, I can't do this anymore."
Exactly. I want to play this really quick. I have found this. Hold on, I'm gonna show you right now. I have found this thing right here. Yeah, right here. I'm gonna play this.
I can't even hear it.
Did you hear?
I can't hear anything.
We are called. We don't deal with outsiders. People come to us. They know we don't deal with the outside. We are called. That's what I wanted to say. I'll post it later on. But hold on 1 second. I don't know how to get it off.
Me neither.
Oh, didn't she tell you she had a check there? You came for the check. I pulled up to get the check. Go get my check. Okay, so let me do. The point was is that it says you're a cult. It's all a cult. Like, we're a cult. We're a real cult. Right. And she knew what it was before she came to me. We're a cult. So she already knew what was going to happen. Hold on. All right. I'm going to just, I might have to end it because I really don't know how to get out of this. Yeah, Zine was the realist for sure.
Listen.
Let me just get rid of this.
Hold on, play my part.
Yeah. Why would you stop playing? All right, let's put something funny so we can just make it go away. Maybe that'll be all it shows is a screen. That's Trump and Biden fighting.
Oh my God. Oh, Lord.
Let's put my dinner.
What is that?
Tonight. That's what I cooked tonight, girl. So speaking of food, let's talk about you. I know your husband just wrote a book, and you guys, are amazing chefs. Tell the people about your talents. This is my food. This is what I cook tonight. But go ahead and drop that.
Listen, we are Zoos. We are Zoos. We can cook it. We cook.
All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video as well as my commentary. Please be sure to drop me a comment, smash the heck out of that like button, and share. Guys, I want to give a warm welcome to all of my new subscribers. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the channel. To all of my OGs, my day ones, my ride-or-dies. Y'all already know what it is. Big up yourself. We in the building with it.